All right, good morning. Happy Monday. We are back on retaining wall job. Friday, I moved all the rest of the blocks over close to the wall so I can just lay some geogrid and start building. I have another order coming for stone either today or tomorrow. And then once these blocks are laid, if the stone's not here, I'm gonna go get one more pallet, I do believe, of block. I am one pallet short, I do believe, one and a half pallets short. I'll know for sure once I get all these up there. I think I have 70 something blocks here. So it's time to start lifting some blocks up. Geogrid first, then start stacking blocks. Not a bad productive morning. I got this corner all done now. Ready for stone. Everything's good to go. Stone, next layer geogrid, and then 2 more blocks. So the wall is going to be right about this high. And it'll be just about the soil height all the way across. So two blocks higher plus the cap. So it's 12, 6 inches, 6 inches, and then the cap I think is 4 inches. And so this whole layer is ready for a geogrid. Nice straight line once you get off the curve. And if you notice, I threw some blocks over. Those are the ones that had imperfections that I noticed, or major imperfections. And then that way I could use them to bury them in that corner or bury them in that corner. So I am out of stone, backfilling stone. I'm waiting for the delivery. So while I am waiting, I am going to pick this job site up, get all the pallets out of the way, get the extra blocks out of the way. I'm probably going to cut those corners also, the last 2 blocks, or the last cut. I have to cut 1 more block there. So that's ready to go once I get it backfilled. And then I can start laying geogrid, and I'm going to go get 1 more pallet in the truck. This way I can actually count exactly how many I need. All right, well, let me pick up the job site real quick and cut those for that corner so I can put the saw away for the day, and we'll check on the delivery for the stone. top of the driveway is all cleaned up, ready to go for the next layer, next 2 layers. Stacked all the empty pallets, moved the half blocks out of my way, put the compactor on the back for counterweight. Because the next step is to fill this with stone. And I just talked to the stone guy, and they're not making it for the next couple hours at least. So I am going to run and go get another pallet of retaining wall block, and that should give me time to at least unload it. I'll keep these pallets and I'll unload them on the pallets, and then that way I can just move them when I need them. So let's go for a drive and get another pallet of retaining wall blocks. I think I need 32 per row, and I want to do 2 rows. So not including these. Pretend these just don't exist. These are my extras. I need 32, so 64 blocks. And I don't think there's 64 on a pallet, so might have to do 2 trips. All right, just unloaded the extra pallet, or the 1 full pallet of retaining wall blocks. I actually split it into 4 manageable pallets for the mini excavator to lift, so I only have to pretty much move them 1 more time with the machine over there to the wall once I backfill the top 2 courses here with stone. My stone is still not here. My backfill drainage stone is still not here, so I am going to go get the remainder of the retaining wall blocks that I need. Should be about another 20. Figure roughly 20 more retaining wall blocks, and then that way I'll have all the retaining wall blocks except for the retaining wall caps. I might even get the retaining wall caps. Depends how much I feel like doing today. So, all right, let me get back to the supply yard and grab another pallet of, or a partial pallet of retaining wall blocks. Well, this is a little shorter day than I expected, which is nice. I have the rest of the retaining wall block in the back of the truck. I'm gonna leave them in the truck. That way I can just back the truck right up to the wall and take them off tomorrow morning. My stone delivery is delayed till tomorrow morning, so I really can't go any higher until I backfill it and compact this geogrid. And then I have to, because the first piece of geogrid and the first blocks I got to set are my corners, and the geogrid for this corner covers this whole section, so I can't just fold it out of the way. So I'm all picked up for the day. I got all the retaining wall blocks, and like I said, the first ones I use are the ones out of the truck in the morning, and then I have all these staged and ready to go. So the stone's supposed to be here around between 9 and 10 in the morning. I'll get it backfilled by noon and then get the next course going. So tomorrow should be a late day. We'll see. So I'm back at the retaining wall job waiting for my stone delivery of my second load of 20 tons. It was supposed to come yesterday afternoon. They ran into some scheduling problems, so it was supposed to come this morning. They ran into scheduling problems. Now it is in the afternoon. Supposedly it's on its way. It should be here any minute now. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to answer a question one of my friends who doesn't do landscaping asked me. He asked, what's the point of the geogrid? And that's this mesh fabric or mesh grid that I lay in between retaining wall blocks, and I compact the stone in between. Basically, if you ever try to pull a blanket out from underneath somebody, it's really, really, really hard. Well, that's what this does. The wall is built with it in between the layers, so the weight of the block and the pins in the block hold the fabric there, and then the material in between the layers of compacted stone get jammed in there. Oh, my truck's here. Let me go. All right, I just got my second load of 20 tons delivered, and now I am 24 hours behind schedule. So I'll explain geogrid if I have time later. Right now I just got to start humping all that stone, at least 10 tons of it, to backfill the 12 inches, the last 12 inches, to cover the geogrid that's in there. So I'm gonna jump on the tractor and start making a bunch of trips up and down the hill. after a long day of delays, I got that layer backfilled and compacted. My John Deere, one of the hydraulic hoses on the back here, sprung a leak today. It's a fitting right there. So what ended up happening was I went to lift this up and it hooked on the side guards there to the PTO, and that's where it started leaking from, I do believe. So a couple oil spots still wash off with some rain. All right, so I am a day behind, but that course is done. Now tomorrow morning, I have all the blocks here I need for the retaining wall. I don't have the caps, but I should have enough block. And what I am going to do is blow it all off, clean it off, lay a layer of geogrid, and then I already did the cut. That cut's already done. So it's just a matter of stacking 2 more courses and then seal it off. Well, then backfill it with stone, obviously. The remainder of the stone in the street, and then backfill it with the leftover soil that's up there after I encase it with fabric paper. All right, so I got to pick up a few rocks on the driveway on the way out. There's a few that fell off the bucket, and kick them out of the street a little bit, and then I'm done for the day. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. As you can see, I got a few drops in the road. That's the last of the stone. I kicked all the loose ones back in. This will all wash off, and I will get rid of all that tomorrow and clean up the road. All right, I'm out of here. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Wall is ready for the last 2 courses and geogrid. Let me set you up. I will blow off the wall, lay out some geogrid, and start stacking the last 2 courses. I have 27 in the back of the truck, and then I have a full pallet split up into 4 piles of 11 or 12, I do believe, over here. So I should have enough. There's my oil leak from yesterday. I put the John Deere down in the road. All right, well, I'm gonna set you guys up and then let me drink my orange juice, and then I'll start getting the wall done. Guess what? I ran out of pins. So those are the last blocks, well, the last course. I gotta do 1 more here, and obviously from there down. But I ran out of the plastic pins. I thought I grabbed another bag, but obviously I didn't because I don't have it. So I gotta go back and get the caps anyways. So I'm gonna run now, changing my shirt. It's a nice little lunch break. Perfect timing. And I can go get the caps. And then once I get the caps unloaded, I'm gonna start bringing that stone up here. This is gonna be quite a feat to get my tractor to dump this high. It's not that really big of a tractor. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to dump it on the driveway, scoop it with the mini and chuck it up there. All right, well, let me change my shirt and get going so I can get the pins, and then I'll come back. Just returned with another full bag of pins. I'm gonna need them for the next wall. I got 2 more walls here I gotta build, but now I can finish this up. So I'm ready to do the final lift of stone. John Deere is going to make it up and over, so it won't be bad. But I want to finish explaining about the geogrid. So basically, if you compare it to someone laying on a blanket and you try to pull the blanket out from underneath them, you can't because of their weight. Well, the reason you do it through the stone is you do angular stone, and when you compact the lifts of angular stone, it beds down and it bends. Here, let me get up there. All right, so when you put the geogrid down and you compact angular stone on top of it, it knocks it all in to all the little crannies like this. And now basically you cannot pull this out either direction, any direction, because it is all uneven and it's wedged in between all those little imperfections in the surface. So when you buy geogrid, you got to be careful. You got to buy according to the wall design that you're building. This is bidirectional, which means I could roll it out this way or I could run it this way. The roll is, you could use it in both directions, front to back, left to right. They have directional, which is more for like little walls and it's not as heavy duty. And you have to roll it out, cut it, roll it out, cut it, roll it out, cut it. And that's for more of a mosaic style wall. But when you're doing this, you could do a nice 6-foot piece. So it's basically 5 foot, 5.5 feet back of geogrid because these blocks are sitting on it also. You don't just put it on the end of the block. If you put it here, it could just pull out of the block or your block can fall. You go past your fasteners. So my fasteners are in these grooves here. Actually in these grooves. So the pins go in these grooves here. And then on the block underneath, those pins go into this groove. So as long as your geogrid is past that pinpoint, you're fine. I always put it all the way out as far as I can without being visible from the front. And then that way your block sits. So I did every 2 courses, which is every 12 inches, which is definitely an overkill for this wall. The wall is only 5 feet tall, above grade, and I have 4 layers of geogrid every foot. So every 2 courses, starting at the top, 2 courses, geogrid, 2 courses, geogrid, 2 courses, geogrid. I think the bottom course that's buried doesn't have geogrid. But there's four full layers of geogrid in here. And basically that means this wall is built up of a huge block. Basically the way you got to look at it is this whole section here, that's as high as the retaining wall is. And then underneath that, there's a whole nother retaining wall. And underneath that, there's a whole nother retaining. Each block, basically, it locks everything together. And especially once you glue these caps on, this whole section is definitely not going to move. So that's kind of, sort of, what geogrid's for. And then the other thing about these walls, sorry, I had to jump down, it's getting high. If you look this way, you can see this wall, my blocks are dead level, left to right, front to back. But every course has that setback. And you can definitely see it here in the corner. This block is set back. Every block automatically sets back. I think it's 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. The pins are in this one and it goes in a groove in this one. So that's what, like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. So every block is set back 1/2 inch as you go. That is why that's block. They get bigger and bigger as you go up in this corner. You can see this corner, every block gets bigger the higher up you go. And to match that, you'll see my seams go back also. So this one is not dead center over this one. That one is not dead center over that one. That one is not dead center because I gotta go tight to this block. So I intertwine basically this wall and this wall. This wall goes this way, this wall that ends up to here. On the other ones I have a block over there, back there, but I don't need one here because I'm going to put a cap here now. But like this wall goes through this wall, this wall goes through this wall, this wall goes through, that wall goes through. So it's locked in there. So that corner will definitely, and my geogrid goes all the way back almost to the foundation. So that wall will never move. You could literally, once this is all backfilled and the caps are glued and, you know, it settles over time or whatever, you could literally come in here and hit this thing and you'll break a block, but the wall's gonna stay. You could literally take this block out of here and 90% of that wall is still gonna stay up there, the soil or the stone, because of that geogrid. That's how it locks it in so good. All right, so anyways, I got some stone to move. If you're more interested in how the geogrid works, look it up online. Look at the manufacturers. This is a VERSA-LOK designed retaining wall. And if you look down it, it is level all the way across. Very important you get that very first course perfect, because any imperfections just amplifies it all the way up. All right, well, let me put you over here in a stand. I got to get whatever stone I have left behind the wall, and then I'm going to encase it with fabric paper, and then I'm going to backfill. And then I got the caps in the back of the truck also. And then this here is going to be covered in dirt from that rock there. That one's going to stay above. But starting here, the dirt's going to come down like this. And then, so you won't see any of this anyways. All right, enough chit-chatting and yapping. If you have any more questions, Google it. This is all backfilled, all that's excess, except for here. I gotta fill this, but I gotta get the stone in there. So instead of messing around with it, what I did was I just made a ramp for the John Deere. I'll be able to go down to the street, grab the last bucket. I think there's only 1 or 2 buckets left. Grab the bucket that I actually have to shovel into the bucket, so it's gonna take me a while. Drive it up here. Drive it right up from where the tripod was. Go past the well. Come right here around all this. Drive down this embankment, which is about 18 inches, and dump it over there. And if I'm not the one who built this wall, I would not be driving my mini excavator or my tractor that close to it. But since I'm the one who built the wall and I have faith in my geogrid and my compaction, I was able to get nice and close, compacting it with the, with the excavator, tracking it in. But it's still gonna be a little bit more difficult with the tractor because I'm not gonna have a counterweight on it. So I'm gonna have to get into 4-wheel drive to get up there. And fingers crossed, we don't fall in there. Yeah, it should be fine now. All right, let me go get the last load of stone. Okay, now you're off wide angle. And there's the wall. That wall is not going anywhere. That is a solid, solid wall. Gotta get rid of this old asphalt curb, which is easy to do. I got 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks left over. I actually lost count on how many pallets. Well, there you go, that many pallets. But I have more retaining walls up front here I have to do in a new sidewalk. But there's a wall. calling that a day. Got a lot of little stuff done. There's the wall right there, using up all the old boulders. I'm gonna put some decorative stone on top tomorrow is a plan. And here are the caps. Let me go around the excavator. All that soil's going across the street tomorrow, so I can finish grading it. And there you go. Nice big flat area so far. I had to use the pallets as steps so I could actually see what I was doing with the caps. Not bad. All right, I'm tired. Tomorrow's a day of picking up and organizing. And I want to bring in some process for right there. I'm not going to bring topsoil in for up here. We're going to try to, there's organic in that. So we're going to try to grow some grass in that and see how it works. And otherwise I'll just come back next year and throw some grass, some topsoil down. Wall's pretty straight, pretty flat. There you go. If you look down it, no waves, no ups and downs. This section is done. I even did inside the window well. Cleaned up the stone, put some new fresh stone in there. I finished tying up the fence. And that one's done. So that's one part finished I don't have to come back to. Now let's start moving some dirt. All right, guys, I'm going to consider this retaining wall and this portion of the job done. So phase 3 is done. That's all processed. That's stone. We're on the well, so I don't have to worry about it. All done. So I'm going to end the back retaining wall video here because this is, I do believe, phase 3 of the work at this house, and that one's done. The next phase that's going to be coming up, I'm going to be doing a paver sidewalk here. Take these out and do a paver sidewalk, a little serpentine to it, re-glue the stairs. We're keeping these stairs. So I'm gonna clean them up and glue them. I'm not gonna wash them, but I'm gonna take them apart and glue the caps on. Gonna strip out this fabric paper and do stone flower bed. Same here, this is gonna be all stone flower bed. And these 2 walls are going to become one wall. So this video will be coming up maybe, but I'm gonna take these out and I'm going to build the same wall system that's there, the VERSA-LOK, in front of, I'm gonna take this out so I don't kill the roots on this tree. I'm gonna move the wall like a foot, 2 feet forward, and it's gonna come out and go around and go up there. And then instead of dying out to nothing here and starting over again, I'm gonna try to tie them in so it'll be raised up a little bit. And obviously this is going to be stepped. It's all going to have steps in it. And it's going to go up, over, and nice American flag. Always like to see that. And it's going to wrap right around over here and dead end right there. So replace these with the VERSA-LOK to everything matches. It's not going to be the exact shape, obviously, because I'm going to be adding some wall to it, cleaning it up, and I'm going to stone the flower. All this is coming out. All this ground cover is coming out. And I'm going to do stone flower bed on this side of the sidewalk, pretty much from the staircase around the cherry tree to the driveway. And then they will be done with me. So this will be phase 4. Sidewalk first, more because I want to take a break from doing the retaining walls. So I'll do the sidewalk probably first, no guarantee, but that's what I'm anticipating. And then I'll do this wall. I do believe it's like 60, 70 feet of linear footage. So it's a pretty long wall, but it's very low. So that'll be built completely different than this wall. It'll be the same block, but it's gonna be completely different because this wall is structural. This wall has geogrid, this wall has drainage, this wall has 6-foot excavation back and compacted structural stone all the way forward, because this is an actual structural wall. The other ones are more like a flower bed. So not so engineered, we'll say. All right, well, Lover's Lane Road is back open. Thanks for watching. Check out some of the other videos and see you on the next one.